everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for giving us a look. I'm here with Andre Barrett out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 20 years in the business, had his own brokerage since 2007. Some big things are going on. We're going to have a good conversation. Stick around. Here we go. Andre, thank you for jumping on here. How are you, my friend?
I am doing wonderful today. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I was telling you right before we got on here, man, spring break. That was my spring break place when I was in college. I never personally
Absolutely.
got in too much trouble down there, but thousands of people. It was craziness down there. So, are you from there, born and raised in that area?
Uh, yeah, I grew up here in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I grew up here in Fort Lauderdale, but I was actually born in Jamaica. And
Okay.
yeah, uh, love it. Been here pretty much all my life.
Yeah. I
So,
love Jamaica too.
oh
We
yeah,
took our family there on a vacation here probably 3 or 4 years ago. Man, I had a great time. That was
for sure.
awesome. So
Awesome, awesome.
very cool. Well, listen, man, I appreciate your time. I know you are a busy guy running, running a brokerage down there, whatever. I know that's changed a little bit with your move to eXp, but let's talk about your story, man. You got into real estate, 20 years ago, you were telling me, 2002. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Got into
How,
real estate right around 2000 and 2002. Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
What got you into real estate? What led you to that?
Well, you know what? My mom and I, let me turn down this office phone here. My mom and I, we actually started investing in land
Okay.
back in, I want to say maybe the year 2000, when we were having a land boom here in the South Florida area and the South West Florida. I'm on the East Coast, being in Fort Lauderdale. But
Hmm.
I had a friend of mine. I used to, do all sorts of odd jobs. As a high school student, we hand out door hangers for pizza companies and, work at the Christmas tree stand during Christmas and getting tips. And, I saved up money over the years. And I had a friend of mine. I went to him. He was an older gentleman. I respected him. I said, "Hey, I am looking to invest my money. And, I respect you. What do you think the best investment would be for a high school student?" And he looked at me and he said, "You know what, Andre? I got a couple of lots of land that I need to sell. And I don't really want to sell them, but, I got to sell them. And I think you'd be the perfect person to purchase these properties, right?"
Wow.
So I went home. I told my mom, I said, "Mom, I got a friend. He's got some land out in a place called Lehigh Acres. The lots are going for right around 2,500 to $3,000 a lot. And I'm thinking I'm going to spend the $6,000 that I got and buy two lots." And my mom was like, "Where do you know this guy from? You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Don't have anyone steal your money." And I said, "Okay, mom. I mean, if that's the case, why don't you come along with me, right? Because I like him. His name was Garfield, where is Garfield?" And I said, "Come along with us and come see what's going on. You can be there to just make sure this guy's taking advantage of me, right?" So
Right.
my mom came along. We ended up going to Lehigh Acres, and we fell in love. We fell in love with the property over there. My mom ended up buying two lots that same day. I bought those two from Garfield, and he had an agent that he had bought the lots from come to kind of show us around, and we ended up buying four lots that day, and that's
Wow.
where the passion for real estate started. And shortly after that, after me purchasing those properties, the market took off. We started to go into that boom period that we had between, I guess, 2001 up to '07, right?
Yeah.
The market skyrocketed. I ended up selling those lots that I bought for 2,500 for like $50,000 a piece.
Oh,
And
wow.
this was, I was a high school kid.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
I was like, wow, this is amazing, right? You could
Yeah.
spend 2,500 and turn it into 50K literally overnight, right? Just timing was, I was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And I said, I got to start telling other people about this. So I started telling my friends and my family members and taking trips, and realized that, hey, I needed to get licensed because I could make money helping people invest, and that's kind of where it started for me back in 2002.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, to buy that property as a high school student, I mean, that's like to be able to see that way, high schoolers,
Absolutely,
most high schoolers aren't thinking that way,
for sure, for sure,
Every dollar you make, you're out spending it on, whatever, McDonald's on the weekend and bowling and, playing around and goofing
yeah,
off and fireworks and,
for sure, for
all
sure.
that stuff. But be able to save up like that, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Discipline. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Definitely was a saver, give a lot of credit to my mom.
Yeah.
She definitely instilled the investment principles that I still live by. She definitely instilled them in me, and kind of just getting started and having that,
Sure.
that drive to invest. From I was a very young kid, I always told my mom, "Hey, I'm gonna be wealthy." She's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Okay, how do you plan on doing that?" I don't know, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And real estate has been my vehicle for wealth creation right out of high school.
That's awesome. Good for you. So you got your license. Did you get right into like residential real estate? I mean, were you working primarily with investors at the beginning, or did you kind of branch out, start doing more of the all different kinds of residential real estate when you first
So
got started?
So at that time, the market was booming. Everyone was interested in purchasing real estate. Everyone
Yeah.
was interested in buying land as well. So yeah, I dove right into residential real estate. Had some good mentors. Garfield, who sold me the lots, he was a good mentor. He taught me about the power of owning real estate. So yeah, we dove right in, got my license, and started telling people about these lots out in Lehigh and the Port St. Lucie, Florida area, and started taking people on caravan tours uh, to these areas. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Okay.
mainly started with lots, but folks were buying homes at that time too. At that time, the only thing you needed to purchase a home was really a pulse. You didn't need a job, you didn't need credit, you didn't need anything. Countrywide would just give you a loan back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, it definitely led into 2007, 2008,
Correct.
for sure. Which is why I think the thing we're going into right now is just a lot of unknowns right now, but it's going to be different. It just feels different than before, But
Absolutely.
now you started your own. You branched off then and started your own brokerage. You told me 2007, right?
Yeah, yeah, right around 2007, 2008, after the market had kind of took a dip, and
Okay.
no one knew what to do.
Yeah.
I,
What
I,
what made you want to go off on your own like that? I mean, because obviously, I think it's kind of the evolution for a lot of people, especially the ones that really take off and get going. It's like that next step. Like, should I start a team? Should I hire an assistant? Should I bring on some buyer agents and start a small team? Should I, do I want to grow a big team? Do I want to go off and start my own brokerage? There's liabilities, different things with that. What made you want to go that direction? Were you getting so busy that you felt like, I need to start leveraging myself? What was it that made you think that way? Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just a situation where I just wanted to be in control of my own business, right? I felt
Okay.
like I knew a lot. I knew, my first year in real estate was with a company by the name of Exit, and they were in
Sure.
Coral Springs, Florida, and that first year I won Rookie of the Year award, right? So
Hmm.
I was producing right out of the gate,
Yeah.
and the market started to slow down. I just felt like I wanted to be in control of my business. My broker at that time, he got himself into some financial issues, so he had to file bankruptcy, and just a whole bunch of real estate brokerage things were going on. So I was like, man, I'm better off going out and doing my own thing and just really being my own boss. And
Right.
that's what I wanted to do, because I was running my own show anyways. I had my own clients, had my own leads. So I was like, let me just go out here and do my thing. And then I felt at that time the market was shifting, and I wasn't getting the direction that I needed from my the admin or the higher ups in the company. So
Okay.
um, went out and kind of figured out short sales on my own. Started to go to different conferences and seek out information in relation to what banks were doing with loans, and figured out the whole short sale process, and started marketing aggressively to homeowners who were going into foreclosure. I made up door hangers, and losing your home, their options at that point in time. Banks were This was at the very beginning, so a bank was willing to give you like 15 or 20 grand. This was before the banks even knew what they were doing. They were giving folks 20 grand to sell their home short, right?
Hmm.
And I put that on a flyer, and I started canvassing neighborhoods, and the phone started ringing. Hey, we're in foreclosure, and we need to sell.
Yeah.
And just kind of stumbled and failed my way to success through doing short sales. I was actually doing the short sales myself. I had folders on my desk like this
Oh my.
tall with paperwork that we were faxing over to the bank like 10 times a day,
Yeah.
and they still don't have them to this day. They didn't get the documents, right? but
Oh man.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of it. I wanted to be my own boss, and the market had collapsed. No one knew what they were doing, and I just figured a way out, and it was through short sales. I mean, I even
Yeah.
had investors at one point in time. They said, "Man, you got for sale sign on every corner in this neighborhood. Like, what are you doing? Are you investor or what?" I was like, "We're just a real estate brokerage. We're
Yeah.
out talking to people."
There's, I mean, you're dropping gold here along the way. I hope like new agents or agents been around the last couple of years, and there's kind of this panic going on amongst a lot of agents right now. What I'm seeing on social media, different things. I think there's a lot of opportunity in this kind of market, even right now, what we're going through. But again, unfortunately, I mean, we will see a lot of people leave the business. I mean, it is what it is. I saw something here. It's been about a month ago, but like 30,000 realtors did not renew their license, at the beginning of this year. They did not renew their membership to NAR.
Wow.
We've had 160,000 new realtors in the last couple of years. A lot will get out, and there's some that probably should get out. They didn't get into it for the right reasons, and thought it was a quick, easy ride with the money and stick a sign out there and it's going to sell and I can make some money. I mean, just those days are behind us.
For
Those
sure,
days
for
are gone.
sure.
Things shift, and like you, it's like number one. You mentioned how you got a mentor.
Yeah.
And I think how important that is. And I'd love to emphasize that a little bit to some of the new agents out there, new in the last, year, 6 months, whatever, couple years even. It's like, do you have people in your life, other strong realtors, business people that you're around, that can speak into that because you become who you hang around.
Absolutely.
You had, Mr. Garfield, I mean, obviously he was one. I'm sure you've had others along the way as well, and
Absolutely.
how key that is. But then again, the market shifts and things are, everybody's trying to figure out what to do. You didn't let that take you backwards. Oh, well, I guess I'm out of the business. No,
No,
you went out, you hustled it, you had
absolutely.
to shift, you know?
Conferences, yeah. There was a conference out in Dallas that I'm not even sure how I was put on to this conference, but it was the 5 star. I don't know if
Okay.
you've ever heard of the 5 star
No.
conference, but it was a mortgage servicing conference. And at
Okay.
that time, 5 star had gotten really, really big, because that's where you would go to talk to all of the asset managers and the servicers and the
Sure.
banks, right? They were all there talking about what they were doing with the bad loans on their books. And a certain group of realtors that knew about that conference, they were out there and mixing and mingling with asset managers and default servicing companies, and I found my way out to Dallas. I don't know how, but I was there, and I met a
Yeah.
lot of companies and did business with companies out there that they sent us door knocking assignments, right? They would just email us a list of folks to go out and speak to, and say, hey, if you're willing to sell your house, we'll give you $3,000, right? Or we'll give you 5,000. So like you said, you gotta put yourself amongst the right crowd, and you gotta really dig in deep and and find find your way through the muck, so to speak, right? Because
Absolutely.
there is light at the end of the tunnel. As a
For
as a
sure.
as a matter of fact, I think we're doing better this year when they're saying the market is shifting than we were doing last year when I guess things were all peachy. I mean, we're killing it right now as
Yeah.
far as listings. We're listing 2 or 3 homes every week for a small team. We got a major presence. I spoke to a lady, a realtor yesterday. She's like, yo, you're everywhere. You're everywhere. That listing in Cooper City, listing in Parkland, listing in Fort Lauderdale. And I was like, what do
Hmm.
you mean by that? She's like, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing,
Yeah.
because you're listing home. So um, you know, I wouldn't even worry about the market shift if I was an agent, new or seasoned. I would get back to basics. I'm a heavy database guy, right? I like
Hmm.
database is my life.
Right.
So I we add people to our database every single day, and we prospect on a daily basis to continue to add buyers and sellers into our database, because we know that at some point in time, if you touch these individuals enough, if you stay top of mind with the individuals in your database, when they need to buy or sell, they're going to reach out to you. Or if they know someone that needs
Yeah.
to buy or sell, they're going to reach out to you.
Yeah.
So,
It's a great time to become a pro in this
correct,
business,
correct.
work on it. I mean, you've got to learn. I think, yeah, again, I think there's a lot of realtors the last couple of years. You haven't had to have conversations
Hmm.
with your clients. It's been, again, stick a sign out there and you get 10 offers and you pick and it's that kind of deal. Those times have changed, but again, you shift with it. You got to learn to have those conversations. And the more people you're talking to, and then I think educating the clients. That's been a
Absolutely.
big thing we've been talking about, because it's just, I mean, again, the headlines are the headlines, and bad news sells. I mean, it's just, I think the media is, I mean, again, I was reading this the other day. The last 6 recessions that we've had in this country, home prices dropped only 2 of them. The other
Correct.
four, home prices
Went
continue
up.
to go up in a recession. The
Absolutely.
one everybody thinks about is 2008. And yes, prices came down, but no, there was a recession in 2020 with the pandemic. Prices continued to go up.
Absolutely.
And so even right now, yes, they're still going up. They're slowing down, but they're still going up.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I was just reading this morning, interest rates, they tend to go up before a recession, and then to help correct and come out of a recession, typically you look at the last 6 recessions, interest rates dropped by an average of 1.8% during the recession, and then even continued dropping a little bit afterwards as the market continued to come out of that. They were trying to pull things out. So again, nobody knows what this is going to do, but here's the past and what it's like. So I think just having these kind of conversations with your clients and being able to educate them, and again, over time you become that, wow, Andre's the guy I got to talk to, because man, he's been in touch, he's sending us things, he's keeping us up to date. Like, there's nobody else I'm going to go with. It's time to sell. It's time to buy. Call Andre.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We send out a weekly email every single week.
Nice.
And we get folks, hey, my son needs to buy, my daughter needs to buy, my son needs to sell. So
Yeah,
it's all about the constant touches of your database, and building your database on a daily, weekly basis, right?
that's
And
awesome.
get
Yeah,
get the FUD out of your head, and get back to basics, right? What's
yeah,
the basic thing that you can do in real estate is pick up the phone and call somebody, and
right,
and tell them you're in the real estate business,
right,
and you want to help.
for sure. So 2007, you start your own brokerage. At some
Mhm.
point, when did you start bringing agents into that brokerage? You went independent and got, did you start right away bringing some people on with you, or did that kind of grow over time as you continue to build the short sales and going through all that?
Yeah, that took its time to build
Sure.
up, because
Okay.
I've always been in production, right?
Okay.
So,
Right.
I didn't really need any other agents at first, but as your name gets out there, you start to attract people. You start to, tell people that you're in the real estate business. I never really recruited heavy for my brokerage, but
Sure.
there were always agents calling me to say, hey. you know what, I'd love to come talk to you about real estate and to see how we could partner up. So
Okay.
the agents just came naturally,
Right.
to
Right.
be honest with you.
And I think you told me, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you said like about the biggest you got, kind of a boutique brokerage. I mean, kind
Yeah,
of, we've got about 9, 10 agents, somewhere in there roughly. That was kind of the where you kept it right in there.
correct. Right around 10 agents
Okay.
at the most, and
Sure.
I was comfortable because
Yeah.
it's not an easy job managing agents. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much. That'll take all your time. That's a full-time job.
Yeah.
And even when you do your best, you teach them, you lead them to the water, so to speak. A
Right.
lot of them don't want to drink, right? For whatever
Right.
reason, they don't want to prospect, they don't want to maintain a schedule, they don't want to tell people they're in real estate, but they're licensed. So, um, I didn't really focus that much on bringing agents in. Uh,
Sure.
the ones that knew about us and that thought it would be interesting to partner with us, they came, they knocked on
Okay.
the door, they raised their hands.
Okay. And when did you first see EXP? Do you
I saw
remember?
I saw EXP probably in uh, probably in 2016, 2015, or 2016. And
Okay.
I'll tell people all the time, man, one of the biggest mistakes I made was not looking at it the way I should have looked at it in
Okay.
2015. Definitely.
I hear that a lot,
Yeah.
people that I've shown. In fact, I had a call, I'm meeting, I've got a lady I'm meeting later this afternoon. I mean, I first showed her this 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and she called me last week. Now she's starting to look like where she's spending her money
Yeah.
with this shift going on. She said, I've been watching you guys, and honestly, I probably should have moved when you first showed me, but what's your schedule this week? Let's get together. I think I'm ready to do this. And so, I think we're going to see more and more of that. But so what? Yeah, and you actually moved over to EXP then just this last year. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
October of 2021.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: like, what were some of what were some of the challenges of having a brokerage? It can be a lot of management that goes on there.
For
That can
sure.
take a lot of your time. Away
Yeah.
from your own production stuff because you got a lot of people you're dealing with and personalities and everything else. What were some of the biggest challenges you had as a broker owner?
Well, one of the biggest challenges for me, really and truly, was it was real lonely. As an
Say that again.
independent,
It was
it was
what?
lonely, very
Okay,
lonely.
lonely.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
very, very
Okay.
lonely.
Okay.
You didn't have that community because
Okay.
you're your own brand. So it's pretty much just like you and your agents. I mean, you can go to conferences and stuff, you can meet people, but I felt that one of the biggest things for me was that it was just lonely out there,
Okay.
and I just got to a point where I felt like I needed the collaboration with other agents, especially agents that were top producing agents. And
Hmm.
real estate, I guess, whether you're an indie or you're with a big brand, can be lonely because we're taught that we're competing against each other. So
Right.
another independent broker doesn't necessarily want to give me their secrets, and I don't necessarily want to give them mine because we're all in competition. We're not helping to lift each other up. So
Sure.
that was one of the biggest factors for me, was that, man, it's lonely out here, and I felt like I couldn't break through certain ceilings. Right, I was stuck at doing 70 transactions a year, $40 million in production, and that was just year after year after year. And I'm like, no matter how I try, I can't get through the crack the 40 million sales volume mark,
Right.
and
Right.
it's like I need to be around other people that are doing this business at a very high level so I can get that training that I need to be able to kind of break out and
Take it up
get
a
to,
notch.
yeah, get to the
Yeah.
get stretch myself and get to the bigger goals that I've set for myself.
Is that when, so last year when I mean, you took another look at this or whatever, or you kept watching it? I don't know along the way, but was that a big part of it then this last year in terms of like, okay, I think it's time to make a move?
Yeah, that was definitely a part of it. The loneliness was definitely a part of it, but then I also started to see people that are respected in the industry. So the first couple, not to say I didn't respect the first set of individuals
Sure.
that reached out to me, but when I started to see people that I really admired in the business come over to this company by the name of eXp Realty, I was like, wow, there's something going on. And it was like I saw, I think about three or four top producers who I knew personally who had their own, whether they were brokers of a big brand or team leaders or whatever they were at their previous companies. When I saw them move, I was like, man, I got to start making some phone calls to see exactly what's happening because these the individuals who I'm talking about, they're top, top performing agents.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
leaving their big box company. So, there was one person in particular. Once they made the move, I picked up the phone and said, "Hey, you got to tell me why you did this and break this down for me." And
Yeah.
when I saw it, I couldn't unsee it, and I wish that was the case back in like 2016. But nothing also happens before its time, so I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with it. I
For
love
sure.
where I'm at now, and we're just going to continue to build this thing and help folks because this company, I really and truly believe this company is changing the lives of agents and the wealth building opportunities that you get here you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. You cannot get the opportunities that eXp Realty is providing you with any other brokerage firm. There may be
Yeah.
copycats that will pop up, but eXp is established in the marketplace. The brand is there, the name is there, and it's a proven model.
Yeah. It's working. I mean, I think it's, and I got, I've been here 4 years now. I'm more excited today than I was 4 years ago,
Absolutely,
and I
absolutely.
think when I saw it, I was just like, okay, like, wow, what if this works? What if it works? I knew I wasn't locked in here. I knew I could go back to where I came from. If 6 months, 8 months, a year later, I'm just not happy with what I'm seeing or what's going on, I can go back. They'll take me back. But I'm like, man, I don't want to miss it. What if this thing does what I think it could do? And I've been here 4 years. It's done way more than I ever thought it would do. And
Absolutely.
I can't imagine. I mean, seriously, you've been here for a few months. I can't imagine where we're going to be a year, 4 years from now. I
Yeah,
mean, seriously, I get excited about it. I mean, it's
for
just like,
sure.
man, oh man, and you're right. I mean, the best day every week now, even twice a week sometimes, here comes another story,
Yeah,
another brokerage,
yeah,
another giant team, another big name, in the business of whatever. And they just keep coming. They
for
just keep
sure.
coming. They just keep coming, and so, yeah,
It's the
that
beginning.
train is leaving the station. There's
Yeah,
no question about that.
it definitely. But even though the train is starting to pick up steam, it's still the
Oh,
opportunity is still a
totally.
major opportunity now. 5 years from now, I mean, a
Absolutely.
major opportunity because I mean there's what how many agents in the United States? 2 million or
I've heard like, yeah, 2
yeah,
million, 2.3 million, something like that.
something
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
And we
Like,
had 82,500 agents,
yeah.
and I think that's worldwide. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunity out there for agents to come and be a part of this movement and to really do well with it. So
Right.
I'm happy I'm here now. I can't wait to see what the next 5 years is going to look like for my business. I know it's going to be awesome because I've been in less than a year and I look at some of my metrics and I look at what I have been rewarded from EXP for hitting those goals, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I look in this. This is what's here. This is amazing, and
Yeah.
that's just a bucket that's sitting there that I don't even have to look at. I probably won't worry about that. This is
Yeah.
dollars that I'm earning. This is equity that I'm building. And as a broker owner, I could have never done that for the team members that I had.
Yeah.
I could have never, I can't do for them. I couldn't do for them by myself what I can do for them now, powered by eXp Realty.
Yeah. Well, and you bring a couple good points there. We'll wrap it up. I think as a broker owner, if there's any broker owners who, are watching this or do get to see this, I think, if you haven't seen this model, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your brokerage to at least look at it. because you don't know what you don't know. It's not just another model. You're not going to lose your brand. I think that's one of the things I hear. Man, I built my brand. We have a brand here. We've been successful here. We got this brand. Everybody knows who we are, and I don't want to lose that. You're not going to lose that.
No,
You're going to
no,
keep your brand. You're going to keep your logos, your signs, your colors, all that stuff. You can continue to do with your agents all the things you've been doing and all the plans you want to do in the future. You can still do that with your group.
absolutely,
eXp will help you do that, but now you can give your agents access to everything else
for
that
sure,
eXp offers in addition to what you do. You
absolutely,
can give them more training than you could ever possibly provide. You can give them ownership in the company that you could never probably give
correct,
them, other than maybe a couple they got really big and you could somehow work out some sort of deal. Every agent in your office can get ownership.
correct.
Um,
Healthcare,
Healthcare, yeah,
major, major.
huge, absolutely. That's big. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's been awesome to have
yeah,
here. So many different things, but yet you still keep. It's still what Barrett Group is that?
absolutely.
Yeah, you
Yep, the
still keep
Barrett
that.
Group. Yep,
Yeah, it's just
definitely.
now brokered by eXp. You're still doing things with your group, but now you can expand and no borders and all the other things that eXp offers. So, if you're a broker owner, seriously, and you're watching this and you just haven't looked at it, again, because I talk to brokers all the time, and I really do. I believe 99% of them, they love their agents. I mean, they want the best for their agents. And so I think sometimes they feel like they want to protect their agents from leaving or going somewhere else or from even seeing this. But again, you're going to help your agents in so many ways if you just open that up and just open your mind up to at least look at it. There's a reason why 400 independent brokers have moved over here in the last 12 months.
Listen,
You
the
know?
only way to protect your agents is joining a model such as this model that we have here today.
Yeah.
Because the traditional real estate model, we build up agents, and we're building these agents up a lot of the times to leave.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a certain point where a top producing agent either wants to go out and own their own brokerage, or it's just the evolution of how we think and how we do things, right?
Yeah.
So EXP Realty allows you to have that agent as a team member, and then go out and say, hey, go out and build your own team, build your own downline, and
Yeah.
we'll all still be one big fire and one big family, and be able to grow with one another,
Yeah.
so
And in the
that's it, that's
meantime,
life, right?
Yeah, and in the meantime, take your production up to here because you're getting collaboration from the best agents in the country. There's no way that doesn't help you. In the last 12 months, I mean, just even some of the things I've learned in the last year, things I've never thought about in 20 years of being in the business. Like, oh man, and because again, you're hearing it from some of these guys that, they've been in the business for years also. And again, that collaboration that we get, everybody working together and helping each other with that ownership piece. It's like, we're not competing against each other.
Yeah, we're
The better
one.
you do, the better I do,
For sure, we're one team. I mean, like, I got I got a text at like 10:30 last night from one of the top agents in the country, saying, hey, I'm not doing this, this is what I'm doing, jump in your Play Store and download this app. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And going back to what I was saying, as an independent broker, it's lonely. If I was
Yeah.
still an independent broker, I probably, that specific agent wouldn't have been texting me at 10:30 at night to
Yeah.
say, hey, you know, this is
Yeah.
this is what we're doing.
Not
Take
at
a
all.
look at it. So it's
Very
amazing.
cool.
It's been totally amazing,
Well,
and I
it's
love it.
great to have you here. It is great that you're here. I'm sure your agents are loving it as well, for sure. And it was great meeting you down there in Orlando.
Yes,
So
yes, yes, yes,
that
and
was
I'm
a fun
sure,
event.
for
So
sure, and I'm sure we're gonna, get plenty of other opportunities to connect. I'll be in Dallas here in just under a month
August.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
August
Tony
5th.
Robbins. It's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. So we'll
Have
have.
you ever seen him before live? Have you
I
seen him?
I have.
Have you?
The first EXP event I went to was the Build It conference
Okay.
last
Gotcha.
year, and when I was invited there, and I got there, and when it was done, I was like, where do I sign?
Yeah.
How do we get this ball rolling? So
Yeah. No, it
amazing
was a
event.
Oh, it was an amazing event, and I'm telling you, that was when he came out that day. I mean, that was the fastest 4 hours I've ever experienced in my life. I remember at one point looking at my watch. I'm like, "What the heck? We've been here 3 hours already." I
Yeah,
mean, it was just, the energy was
it was
just
fun.
unbelievable. Yeah, it was
Definitely.
fun. So, looking forward to it again. I will definitely see you down there. So, Andre, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate your time, and congratulations on all your success. I mean,
Thank
seriously,
you.
starting in high school and the way you've built things and what you're doing for your group down there, definitely you will be a name and face here at EXP for sure, in the
Absolutely.
long run. So
I'm working on my icon right now, capped already. I was, that was something, back in the day as a broker. It's like, cap, what's that? These guys got a cap. Listen, I
yeah,
cap, working on the icon, working on getting that cap back. You know,
yeah, for sure,
it's
for sure.
amazing. Thanks, Jeff.
Good deal, man. Well, I appreciate your time, guys. If you have any questions for either one of us, you can put them in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever. We will get back to you for sure. Answer anything we can do to help you out. If you're on my YouTube channel, hit that the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're doing a couple of these a week. Just getting some great tidbits and nuggets from agents all over the country. So, have a great weekend, Andre. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Okay, take care,
Awesome.
everybody. Have a good one. Bye bye.